Hey people, Demon here, and today I am talking about the Masters of the Universe Revelation. I've already made a review on it. My opinion was it was okay. Everything about it was just kind of okay. Like the voice acting was pretty good, even though it didn't sound as good as the original voice acting, but it was still okay, I guess. It would have been better if they were different characters, but whatever. The animation was fairly good as well. I did like the animation. But the whole plot line needed a lot of work. So I thought it was just okay. But a lot of people hate it, especially older fans. A lot of people hate it. Some people loved it. And some people, I think probably the vast majority of people, were in the middle and just kind of thought it was okay. Like nothing bad, but like not like super bad, but not like super good. So today I'm going to talk about it, and I am going to talk. I'm going to say like the things I didn't like and the things I did like, more elaborate than I did in my review. And I'm also going to say how I think it personally should have went, and I think that it would have been better off if it went this way. At least in my personal opinion, obviously. But yeah, let's get into that. Just remind you to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, share this video, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below. Okay, so first off, things I liked and things I didn't like. So one of the things I really liked was He-Man sacrificing himself. And it's not because, like, oh, he sacrificed himself, then we can move on with the show. It's like because that's a He-Man thing to do. He-Man wants to save the world at any cost, even at his own life, so he sacrifices himself. But on the other hand, I did not like it that they did in the very first episode, like the first 5 to 10 minutes. It's like, seriously? Seriously. You killed off the main character in like 5 to 10 minutes. Really stupid, really dumb. But I could see He-Man doing that if it was done in a better way. Another thing I disliked was a lot of things about Teela. Now, these are just the ones that come to mind. So one of them is the fact that after He-Man kills himself or gets killed, she freaks out and she basically says like, "Hey, this castle lied to me and He-Man's father, I guess. But He-Man's father's a dick and I'm not a dick. I'm a cool person." So I'm really pissed off, and I'm just gonna like abandon all of you because you guys all lied to me, except for He-Man's father. But He-Man's father sucks, so no one likes him. So she's kind of like just like really, really jumps the gun, and gets really angry, like for no apparent reason, and just quits her job and runs off. And it's really stupid because if you think about it, it's like this is a person that worked super hard to get to where she is, and like just worked and worked and worked for it until she got to like this super high rank. And then at the end, her friend lied to her, and she's just like, "Fuck all you guys, I'm going home," or "I don't have a home anymore, so I'm gonna go to the streets." Like seriously, like did she work for it for Adam's sake or He-Man's sake or her own sake? I thought it was for her own sake, but it turns out it was for his sake. I guess. Was kind of stupid, but whatever. Another part that was stupid about Teela, the second probably like the second most worst part, or maybe like even the worst part of her, was when she went to like the heaven place, like the Valhalla heaven or whatever you want to call it. I forgot what they called it. Grayskull? No, it wasn't Grayskull. That's the castle. But whatever place it is, she goes there and she meets up with Adam, her friend, He-Man. And instead of being like a civilized person and going like, "Hey man, when you died, like it really hurt me, and it really hurt me that you lied to me. And I think we should talk about that sort of thing." And then talking about it and like being like, "Okay, that's cool, and that's cool. Let's hang out because this is the last time you'll ever see me, at least to our knowledge. Last time you'll ever see me ever again, right? Instead of doing that and spending time with him for the few hours they have together, remember, this is the last time she thinks and he thinks they will ever see each other again. Forever. Forever. I mean, she's just like, nah, man, the whole time I'm gonna be pissed off at you, and all the whole time listening, like, we gotta leave, we gotta leave, we gotta leave, we gotta leave. It was super stupid and super annoying. Like, who the fuck would act like that? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, imagine if one of your cherished friends or even a family member, someone that you love so much, died, but then you figured out they lied about something. But you got to see them again in the future. But it's only like for a few hours, and this is the last time you ever see them. Are you going to sit there and be like, I'm so fucking angry at you right now? I don't ever want to talk to you. Like, fuck off. And then leave and then be like, totally like, oh shit, I should have talked to him. Like, that was the last time I ever saw that guy. Or would you be like, let's talk about that real quick and then hang out for the last few hours we have together because I love you, man. I love you. I think I would do, the hanging out part instead of being like, man, I'm so pissed off at you for lying to me. And then we're not going to talk about it. I'm just going to be pissed off and salty. But this is the last time you'll ever see me. But it turns out it wasn't. He came with him. And the third and final thing I disliked about her was the whole, like, she's connected to the swords. Because when she picked up one of the swords, her forehead glowed. I almost said glued. No, but it glowed. And she was just like, oh, like, I feel connected to this sword. And it's kind of dumb. It's like, why is she connected to the swords? Like, couldn't you have just made it so she could have picked up the power sword and said, I have the power, and became one of the guardians? But no, you're like, no, that's too easy. Let's make her connected to the swords so she'll be even more powerful, I guess. It's like, no, the sword can literally make anybody into a guardian, even a villain. So why don't you just do that instead? It's like, no. She's connected to the swords. Kind of stupid, but I'm assuming that will play a role in season 2 if it ever comes out. Like, she'll be able to take it away from Skeletor because she has a connection with him. Really stupid, but whatever, I guess. Other than that, there are a few other nitpicks here and there, obviously. But other than that, it was an okay show. With some good, but a lot of bad. And this is how I would have made it different, and I personally think it should have went. Okay, so first off, the first season would be a full season of 10 episodes. No 5 episodes, 10 episodes. And it would have He-Man at the forefront, and he would be the main character, obviously. Where he would be like kicking ass and he would have his friends kicking ass with him. Now, I don't know exactly how it would go from the beginning of the series to like the end of the first season. But I do know that would go pretty well until maybe like 6 to 8 episodes in, where Teela would find out that Adam is He-Man. And she'd be super pissed off at him and angry. Not enough to like quit her job, but just super pissed off at him and angry. And he'd be like, oh man, I'm so sorry, Teela, like I should have told you. And he'd try to explain himself, right? But then at the ending episode, when they're still fighting, and the last word she said to him was probably something pretty meaningless, like just shut up, Adam, or something like that. Last word she said to him probably pretty mean. When they're like the last episode of season 1, episode 10. Would be the fight between He-Man and Skeletor. Now, He-Man and Skeletor would be fighting, and Teela would be on the stairs running downwards. She wouldn't be down there already. She'd be on the stairs running downwards. And a similar thing would happen where the thing got open and the shiny magic ball showed, and Skeletor ends up breaking it. Skeletor ends up breaking it and destroying it. And of course, they tell He-Man, like, the only way to do this is by doing this. So He-Man does it and sacrifices his life. And after the whole season, like the whole first season, after we get to know these characters and stuff for a whole 10 episodes, at the end, He-Man sacrifices his life to save the world. And Teela sees it from the stairs, not right beside him, but from the stairs above him, and sees him sacrifice his life. And of course, this brings her great misery and it makes her tear up and stuff. And of course, the swords split and they go flying to wherever, obviously. And then it ends there. It ends with Teela just on her knees, bawling her eyes out because her friend died. Her friend that she was arguing with for like an episode or two just died in front of her. And she's just like, oh my God. Like, this is so messed up and so sad. And then I think a lot of people would have liked that more because it would have been like a whole season of just He-Man. And then at the end, he would have died, and I'm like, holy shit, like, what the hell is going to happen next? Like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen next? And then, next season starts up. And it doesn't start up like it does after He-Man dies in this. It starts up differently. It starts up with, like, a thing where it goes, like, 5 years past or something like that. And Teela is in a bar, I guess. You could call it a bar. She's in this bar, and she's kind of drinking, and she's kind of giving up on life. And we'll get into the reason why after. But she's kind of just there, and someone pisses her off, and she beats him up, and then they get kicked out of the bar, and she's just kind of out of the bar. And this girl, her companion in this series, but she's not her companion yet, but the girl comes up to her and says, like, hey, I need your help. Like, you're Teela of blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, not anymore. Don't really care. And she's just like, listen, I'll pay you. You're a mercenary right now. And she's like, yeah, I'm a mercenary pretty much. Okay, you're paying. What do you need help with? And it turns out she needs help because Evil-Lyn has hired her. Evil-Lyn and the main sorceress person, I forgot her name, have hired her to get these items to find the swords and bring them back together. So this is the start off of season 2, where there's going to be a 10 episode run of them finding these items, going through all these things, and finally getting the swords at the end. And she has to go up to Teela to ask her because Teela's kind of like this drunkard who's kind of just like done with the world, who's just really sad. And she just kind of goes up to her and goes like, hey man, like, I need your help. Help me get this stuff. And she's like, I'll pay you to get this stuff. And eventually she's like, okay, whatever. And she does it. And along the way, we learn like what happened to her. And it turns out that she didn't quit her job because she was very angry. It turns out that she worked her job, but eventually, like, her sadness and the depressingness of everything and the world going to hell just made her kind of give up on life to where the point where she just basically got fired or just kind of walked away and never came back, to the point where she's just like, I don't really care about anything anymore. It's like she's jaded. She's 5 years older and she's jaded. She's just a person that's just like, who cares? You know, sort of thing. So they go on this quest to find all these pieces, and then like probably about 3-5 episodes in, she realizes what it's for, and she realizes that it's Evil-Lyn and the main sorceress, and she's just like, what the fuck have you people been asking me to do? Like, you motherfuckers. Like, I am done with this shit. And they tell her like what's happening and like how like she has to help them or else the world's gonna die. And at first she's just like, why the fuck should I care? But then she gets talked into it eventually. Maybe after an episode or two, she gets talked into it. And she helps them on their journey to find the swords. Now, there wouldn't be any special, ooh, I have the power of the sword sort of thing. But no, she helps them on their journey. They go to the same places, but maybe with different villains. Um, and it would eventually end similar. Like this season would just be them going on this like journey, an adventure where we would get to know them, where we would get to know their hardships and their laughs and all that stuff, and it'd be really cool to see. And at the end, they would kind of get to the same point. And I would even say they brought back Adam, right? They brought back He-Man to help them. And he's there to help them. And then at the end, they go to restore the magic. They restore the magic. Skeletor does come back and does what he does in the first season of this episode and becomes the evil master of the universe. And it's another cliffhanger where Adam might be dead once again, but this time can't go back to, heaven. And Skeletor is the master of the universe, and it's just like, holy shit, that second season was like all about this journey to get these swords, and it was really cool. And then at the end, they're like, no way, man, they got the swords, but then they got fucked over by Skeletor again, like, holy shit. And it'd be really cool to see. And then, that is the second season. It ends on a cliffhanger, just like the first season. But this time, Skeletor has the power, and Adam is dying. And then I would say the third season shows up, and Skeletor has the power, and he looks at Adam, like He-Man, or Adam, I guess, because he's in normal form. He looks at him, and he kind of smirks and kind of laughs, and goes like, can't believe such a young boy, like, stopped me this whole time. And then he heals him. And the reason why he heals him is because he's like a narcissist. And he basically tells him hey boy, I want you to see everything I'm gonna do. Like, I want you to see me take over the land you tried to protect so much for me. And just see how great it's gonna be when it's mine. Right? Sort of thing. Like, just see what you stopped. And he takes him with him to imprison him and leaves the rest behind because they're insignificant bugs to him. And I assume Teela and maybe a few of her friends might try to fight him. But he's just gonna like flick him off like fleas. He's gonna like, get off me, you flea. Right? And they're gonna fly off and hit something. They're just gonna be left behind. And Evelyn would still like join him because she's Evelyn. So that happens. And now he has Adam locked up in a dungeon, just telling him and making him watch what he's doing because he's just a narcissist that wants He-Man to feel all this pain. But the whole time he thinks he's like the good guy, probably. And he's going, it's like, you were in the way of progress. Just look at what I'm going to do to this place. I'm going to make it better. But better to him means like worse, obviously. And the whole time Adam's just like, you're not going to get away with this stuff, sort of thing. And it's going to be like this whole thing where we kind of flip between our heroes that have to save the day and, of course, Adam and his perspective of what Skeletor's doing. And this is probably going to be the last season, I would say. Or maybe second last season, depends. But it's going to flip between like these two perspectives of like, some episodes it's going to be Adam where he's just like, oh man, like, he's doing all these evil things and seeing like all this stuff that evil Skeletor's doing. And then it's going to be our heroes like gathering up the resources and stuff to fight against him and be like, boom, 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 badass. But it's going to be really cool. It'd be really cool to see that, like just him like torturing him in a sense, just making him watch and be like, yeah, look at all this stuff I'm doing. You're stuck there. Like, I'm super awesome. It'll be really cool, really interesting to see that. Now the heroes would obviously have to be Teela and a bunch of other people, and I assume they would go to the castle and be like, hey, give us your best man, because we're gonna go kick Skeletor's ass. And it'd be really fucking awesome and exciting to see that. But I would say, after Adam gets kidnapped and Skeletor leaves, they have two ways to go with Teela at this point. Teela can either be like, you see, we tried, we did stuff, we succeeded and failed at the same time. This is why I quit, because everything sucks, sort of thing, and tries to go back to her old ways until eventually being talked into being a better person. Most likely because she sees all the horrible stuff that's happening, and she's just like, fine, I'll goddamn well help because this guy sucks. You know, sort of thing. But also because she needs to be like one of the heroes, obviously. But I could see them going that way, where she's just like, you see, we did it, and it all ruined, and it got even worse. Like, the world probably should have ended, it would have been better. And we could see that, or we could have saw her going a different way, where she's like super pissed off, and she's just like, God damn it, I just got my friend back, I just saved the world, and this fucking prick did this. Like, let's go kick his ass. Where she's just like, where she's just so angry that she's just like, I am gonna fucking get people and I'm gonna come kick your fucking ass. And then at the end, obviously they saved the day. There's probably gonna be a few more deaths in there. But it'd be really cool, it'd be really interesting. And I would assume that, Orgo, what's his name? The little imp guy that they have with them, I forgot his name, that died in the second season. In this version, he would have died in the second season too, but a little bit more better. But he would have came back in the third season most likely and had like ultimate magic power, because in the second season, well, in the first season of this, he kind of just disappeared into like a ball of light. So that wouldn't have really killed him, I guess, in like my version. And he would have came back in the third season and like probably kicked some ass. It would have been awesome. But yeah, man, it would have been really cool to see. There's a crow. And even at the end, I would think at the very end, Evelyn might betray Skeletor. And then either Adam or Teela would get the sword and turn into a hero. And then I would assume it would just go like back to normal. And it'd be really cool. Or I guess the girl that recruited Teela in the first place could get the sword and she could become the hero as well. Which would be very interesting. So yeah, that'd be my version. That's what I would think would be better. Just saying it out loud, I guess. I was just thinking about like, how could they made this better? And that's how I would have personally made it. Obviously, there's a bunch of people with different views on that, and probably ones that are better than mine, obviously. But I was just thinking, that's how I would make mine. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification. That's the best way to keep up my channel. Link down below to my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, my friends, stay sane. Peace. Just remind you to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, and share this video. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below. Shadow, my baby, I love you so much. You're my baby. And you love to sleep in the bathtub. 'Cause you're a weirdo. Shadow, look over here, buddy. Look over here.